Time to put the women and children to bed and go hunting for dinner. There's an expert in there too. A little curse, but we left it out. Welcome, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PA.
HUDRadio.com. Live from the BMW of Atlantic City studios. We're right here. I'm out here from New Jersey. BMW of Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 to the Parkway. Find them online. BMW of AtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make him yours. Find him on the web. GibsonMayer.com. That's GibsonMayer.com. Tom Renaud, Michael Mataraki, Ryan Brodo, Rob Povey on the ones and twos. We got a lot. There's a lot to talk about tonight.
We just got like a squad up in here. We just roll guys through and take
squad goals.
Squad goals. We just take them to the next level.
Yeah, we can't.
That's what we do.
We can't hashtag that one ever. We can't hashtag it. Hit that bet off. It's all right.
There we go.
I just like it. I like hearing myself.
No.
The more the more I can soak myself in to find out how bad I am.
What's funny
the better.
is I actually like that bed too. Like it's like kind of it's got a little groove.
It gets
to
people going, right?
But then the bed hits at a certain point where you're like, damn, it's still there. You know what I mean? Like I love a bed. Like a long bed is phenomenal to me because I feel like it brings energy into the beginning of your show.
So you like a long bed. I like a nice wide soft bed.
No, why too? Of course.
Maybe different kind of bed we're talking about.
Are we doing
later bed talk.
All right.
A little pillow talk.
Well,
pillow talk. Friday,
pillow talk.
Wednesday night pillow talk.
Yeah. Well, come on, but join me. I'd love to have you. And everybody out there that's joining us. All right, listen. So we'll go Eagles chat later on in the show. Talk about Brandon Graham's holdout that essentially never happened.
His holdout.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that. His holdout, the fake or whatever the hell. We'll get into that later on in the show. LeGarrette Blount. People are talking Broad and Patterson.
Philly Blunts.
I can't deal with it. Philly Blunts are fine, but I can't deal with the Broad and Patterson talk. We'll talk about that later on in the show and what LeGarrette Blount means to his football team. My assessment of Howie Roseman as a GM and what these two gentlemen have as well. Phillies talk. Rhys Hoskins forcing the Phillies' hand. We'll get into that. We'll get into about more prospects tonight doing well.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to talk. We're going to talk NBA draft. And it's going to take up a lot of the show tonight. We want your feedback, your opinions. Let us know about everything we're talking about tonight, right or wrong. It is Agree to Disagree Radio. If you didn't know, now you know. What a Sixer draft for needed. Take the best player available. We'll get into that. We'll give mock drafts. We'll go 1 through 10. We'll give you a little there. Give us yours. We'll read them on air. That's what we do. But the main topic at hand, Sixers Nation. With the third pick at a 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select.
Well, select.
Malik Monk. Josh Jackson. De'Aaron Fox. Jason Tatum. Somebody else. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. Malik Blaylock already chiming in. And Brian, we trust. To be determined.
Maybe in Brian, you trust.
To be determined for me. But listen, they're in a good spot. They're in a real good spot. And you gentlemen can go ahead first on who you would take with the third pick and what you do with the third pick. I think for me, like I talked about, and I'll get into it after you guys go, but sometimes Timmy Legg can sell a tank off a car lot. And Legs today sold me a tank off a car lot today. And it really changed my opinion on who I wanted number 3. So we'll get into that. Go ahead, boys.
Well, Mr. Brodo, do you want to go? Because I want to drop my top.
No, you do your thing.
Well,
get off to a bang.
I want to drop my top 10 mock because there's a method to the madness here.
Okay.
And Mr. Arnone, you know I trust your judgment on the interworkings of the NBA more than a lot of other people I know. So
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's real deal.
It's a hell of a compliment.
But I put on my Sam Hinkie hat, gentlemen, because I don't even have the Sixers drafting at number 3.
I'll throw up. I just will throw up real quick. Dennis Smith, Malik Blaylock, Jim Cleasy, Josh Jackson.
Cleasy, my man.
Right on my side, Josh Jackson. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, boys. So I'm working under the assumption here that the Boston and LA picks are locked with Fultz and Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, that's
now,
fair.
Unless Danny Ainge became a moron overnight.
Right, but here's the thing. There is a variable there, and that is the fact that, number one, Boston could go, knowing that they already have Isaiah Thomas at the point, they could go Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson is the consensus number 2 player in this draft. So it wouldn't necessarily be a reach to see Markelle Fultz fall to 2, and then if Lonzo is basically married to L.A., then Fultz falls to 3. If Fultz falls to 3, I'm taking him, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's not even a question.
Burn the place to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Right.
I'll burn that bitch to the ground.
You would be both. I mean, I'll go run down my street in my BVDs if they draft Markelle Fultz.
Well,
We're streaking.
The whole thing is up in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Which reportedly certain media companies will be at. Wink, wink. You have a situation where. You told me to drop a one-liner. There'll be no sleep till Brooklyn
There
if
you
that
go.
happens.
You're absolutely right. So, working under the assumption that Fultz goes 1 and Lonzo Ball goes 2, I, Sam Hinkie, Brian Colangelo, whoever you want to call me,
Sam Hinkie.
ring, 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 hello, Sacramento Kings. I know it killed you to do that pick swap, so here's my proposal to you. Give you back 3 for your 5 and 10. And now I've got 2 top 10s this year, plus my first rounder and the Lakers pick next year. And the reason that I'm okay with doing this is because this is a draft, and I know we typically want to draft best player available, but I've heard both Brett Brown and Brian Colangelo talk about the fact that this draft is very deep, so they can be selective about the guy they choose because they need somebody who's going to be able to play off of the strengths of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Brian Colangelo has been quoted as saying what they're looking for is a point guard who can basically get the ball across half court, give it off to Ben Simmons, who's going to initiate the offense, but can then play off the ball. So with all of that in mind, what I'm looking at is Markelle Fultz at 1 to Boston, Lonzo Ball 2 to L.A. Sacramento at number 3 steps in, and they take Jason Tatum, the small forward out of Duke, because apparently they're in love with him, and he could conceivably be their pick at 5. So I have them going Tatum at 3. Phoenix comes in at 4, and that's where the Josh Jackson pick goes. And then Sixers, with their first pick at 5, land De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, but if you're
Vlade,
Vlade, why do you do that?
Well, and granted, this is
what I mean.
It's a stretch, and I get that.
A team that needs a lot more talent, and when you talk about the Kings in the West too, they need a lot more talent. And when in a draft that you talked about before we even came on, that you feel is one of the deepest that's been in years.
It's deep, and next year,
you're going to have to give up probably. I don't know. I just don't. I just take. Listen, I sit at 3, and I take the best guy there.
And I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm thinking, the way I'm thinking about this is, you look ahead the next 2 years. It's not a deep draft next year, and the year after that's looking even worse. So if I'm the Sixers, I want to try to capitalize on this now. And quite frankly, Vlade's a little bit of a rube. So that's the guy you go after.
You're talking to a guy who's done a video on the shitter talking about Vlade Divac and his traits. So I agree with you there. Listen, to me, the best player on the board at 3 is Jackson at that point. If you talk about Fultz and Ball, gone. That's the best player on the board. And he fits a role for you because he is a 6'8", 6'9" kid. He can play a bunch of spots. I think he's suited for a 3, but there's room for him to play a 3 here because Dario can play 4. Joel, Embiid's your 5, and obviously we don't care about Oak. Right. So, you know what I mean? There's room for him to slide into that spot.
Well, let me bang
real quick. It's not a position that's not of need in any way, and you're getting a defensive player that helps your ball club out, and it gets you better. And I think you could argue that he's the most. You could argue that he's the most talented in the draft. You could argue that. Now Fultz is a better scorer and does more with the rock. But you could argue overall that Jackson's the real deal in the full package.
And like I said, I don't have a problem with Jackson. I'm just thinking in terms of the way he's going to mesh with Simmons and Embiid. Because I think he is more of a pure 3, whereas you're looking for more of a ball handler. You are,
but guess what? You address that. You address that in other ways. Because I'm not going to. I like De'Aaron Fox. My opinion on Fox and Monk because them kids showed their emotions. In that loss in Kentucky, just the way. Well, I know we don't like crying in sports.
In a perfect world, they would have gotten 2 and 4, and they would have gotten both Fox and Monk, and I'd have been a happy camper.
Guys, Malik's talking about. He like Dennis Smith. You have Drew DeSato. Oh, I probably got that wrong again.
That guy, Desatel?
Yeah, Desatel. Jackson or Dennis Smith Jr. And then Ron Bates, Jackson should be the pick at 3. And Ralph Del Vecchio, get your big baller stuff now, boys. Let's go Lakers.
Stop
That's not coming in here. We do not. You're not. Listen.
No.
Listen.
You need to take a step back.
They give step. What are they?
Rhino, can you check YouTube?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm saying about Dennis Smith is I seen him, I feel like, check out at times. And that turned me off from him, especially in the tournament. He didn't get it done at all.
I still have a concern about him in the ACL. He didn't look quite right at times last year. I mean, this is a guy who missed his entire senior year of high school, comes back, he plays as a freshman, he averages 18, but to your point, definitely disappeared at times, played small, just at times looked disinterested, and I don't know if it was the fact that it was first year coming back off of an injury, and he wasn't playing like himself, and that caused him to get down on himself. I don't know. I think the guy's got all the ability in the world. I just don't know if he's got the head or the thick skin to play in Philadelphia.
Real quick, here on the YouTube side, Alex, I'm going to butcher his last name, Ocasio? Ocasio. He said, Mike, first off, he said, Mike looking sharp in all of the Sixers gear.
I'm all Sixered out, buddy.
And then I agree with him. He said, I'd go Josh Jackson, then just find the shooters in free agency. # trust the process.
There you go. So banging this out real quick, Tommy. So you got Orlando 6 is Dennis Smith. Minnesota 7, Jonathan Isaac, the small forward. Number 8, I got the Knicks taking Malik Monk, and I'm hoping that he drops a little bit. And the reason why, I feel like Dallas is going to go with the 19-year-old out of France, that Frank Tilikina. I feel like I pronounce his name wrong all the time, but the 19-year-old left-handed point guard out of France, Frank Tilikina, which then would bring the Sixers back into play at number 10. If Monk, for any reason, is still there, I'm jumping all over him. But if he's not, I'm going Justin Jackson, the swingman 2-3 out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the reason that I go there is the same reason that I'm looking real hard at De'Aaron Fox, is I think both of those guys are guys that come from programs where they know how to win. They can play more than one position. They're going to mesh well with Simmons. They're going to mesh well with Embiid. And it gets them to – and don't get me wrong.
You're sort of filling needs. Like, I like Fox a lot. I agree with you. I like Fox a lot, but not –
the Jackson pick might be 2 or 3 picks early. But I do feel like they're on the verge of being in that spot.
Well, he fits a role
where you can draft for need.
I get that. He fits a role, and at 10, you're hoping at 10,
right.
in the NBA draft, in my opinion. But
I
feel like I'm not getting as much value as I should. Like as of right now, knowing you have the 3 pick and knowing the value you're supposed to get at 3 and what you can get at 3, obviously Embiid, a different situation.
Right.
But Embiid, but knowing that value at 3 and you have all these guys to pick from, I just wouldn't even take a chance, and I would just go with, hey, that's my guy, and I'm going with him.
And I'm cool with that, because I feel like even for as deep as this draft is, the top 10 to me is broken down into 3 tiers. You have your 1 through 3 that are pretty clear cut. Mm-hmm. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7 that you could throw them in a hat, shuffle them out, bring them out in any order, and the picks work. And then you've got your 8, 9, 10 that are sort of like that next step down. So they're all good players, and it is a deep top 10. But the top 3, no arguing the ability level there. I mean, it's very clearly. I mean, for me, the one guy's ability that I could argue would be Lonzo Ball, because I feel like he's kind of one-dimensional.
I feel like his shot's not.
That's what I mean.
The
shot's just not where it should be. But I think everyone is just so locked in on Lonzo to L.A. that it almost becomes a non-discussion.
Well, here's a quick question to not only you guys but the people at home. When you talk about the value, we're talking about the value at the number 3 pick. Say the Sixers are at the number 3. In your opinions, would you rather have a role player that fits a need, or would you rather have someone that transcends a certain facet of your team? Like, that's why I really look at Josh Jackson, just because of the projected defense, how he can be transcendent when it comes to his defense. He's arguably, if not clear cut, the best defender projected wise. I get it, in this draft, and that's why I lean towards him more than I look at. I understand he's not the best shooter, he's not the best ball handler, but when you look at just defense and defense alone, if I have the ability at the number 3 pick to get someone that can transcend an organization, change the culture, change whatever you want. Yes.
But guess what? Bigger than that, right? The guy's a perfect fit. Drew said the same thing. But he said we'll be the biggest team in the league. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Good problem to have.
But guess what? When you talk about Timmy Legs and the way Legs talked about him and his work ethic and everything this kid brings to the table, and that he's a nonstop worker and he's a grinder, and they're the kind of guys that fit well in this city, and they're the kind of guys who get better at the next level. When you're talking about a freshman and you're talking about drafting kids, young kids at this point, you want to, as much homework as you can do on a kid, and you find out a kid's that much of a worker and cares that much about the game and that much about getting better, and plus what he did at Kansas and how long he is, and he can defend anybody at the NBA level, right? I look at a guy like that, and he can score, all right, and he boards. He does all these things that just help you win basketball games. That's my guy, and I just go to bed. Now, Fultz is my guy, but I know I'm not getting Fultz.
That's a given.
But I think the next best player in this draft is Josh Jackson.
But here's
I think
the
it's Fultz Jackson, and I think if the Lakers go ball, thank you, because you're giving me the second best player in this draft, in my opinion.
But here's the thing. I don't think we know for sure. I mean, I think we can all make the assumption that the Celtics are taking Fultz, but I don't think we know for sure because they have Isaiah Thomas, who he's not going to run the 2. So, I mean, there's every possibility that the Celtics could trade out of that spot.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
But
too much value to trade out.
There is.
I agree with you.
You're getting a guy who can score at will at the next level. That's a guy you take all day. And you just go to bed and you worry about the problem later. If you're Danny Ainge, he's smart enough to know that. I'm going to take the best player here. That's Markelle Fultz. I was lucky. I did a great deal to get this number 1 pick where I fleeced Billy King because he's a fucking idiot, okay? And I was able to get the 1. I'm not going to pass up on the best player or trade out when Fultz, to me, can be that kind of game changer and get them that superstar they need, right? Because you know they got this far because, they have a ton of talent. Now. You can say Isaiah's a star at this point.
Yeah.
Turn himself into a star, okay? But you're getting Fultz and you're getting another one. And they'll figure it out. They'll be able to play together. There's a lot of time in an NBA game.
Ooh.
Guys learn to play together.
You're right. They probably could learn to play together, but that's a real small backcourt.
It is what it is.
They ain't going to defend. That's for
no,
sure.
but you're not going to play. You're not going to play in every situation.
True.
You know what I mean? They'll both get their minutes. It might not be at the exact same times, but you can give one a break while another's going. So they can make it work.
Right. But
that's all.
Coming back to the point that you guys were both making about Jackson is one of the reasons that I do think the Celtics could take him is if the Celtics feel like they're ready to win right now, but the thing that they have to do is they need to find the person who can stop LeBron James, then that might be their guy. If they're looking for a guy that they can put on LeBron James, that they could put on Carmelo Anthony, that they could put on Otto Porter, that they could put on Paul George, that they could put on Jimmy Butler, the Celtics may say, you know what, Markelle Fultz has all the talent in the world, but for what we want to do right now, Jackson's our guy. And I couldn't fault him for that. I'd throw a freaking party if that was the case, but I couldn't fault him for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was going to bring up to where there's almost an underlining storyline with this whole Celtics-Cavaliers type of series because say they get swept, they can go a completely different direction and go for superstar, it guy. Say they win 2 games. Say they even win 3 games. I feel like they might kind of, surf the line between it guys or maybe going for a role player to fit a need. Because if they feel like they're just 1 or 2, type of guys away, I feel like that could be a, huge thing. So I feel like not only over time should we figure out what they're going to do, but just after this series, watching the series play out between the Cavs and the Celtics, I feel like that should be a huge indicator.
So our old buddy Rick Morarki posed a question last night. He said, would you offer the Celtics your number 3, Jahlil Okafor, and next year's Lakers pick for number 1?
Yeah, they'll probably just tell you to keep Ja.
Well, I actually said that the Celtics might go for it, but you'd have to put something else in, whether it be Dario, TLC,
yeah, I just don't think
or the rights.
If there's any way you're going to get one over on
Korkmaz,
if there's any way you're going to get one over on Danny, I don't think you get one over on him. So if it's a way that we are getting one over on him, I don't think we do. But
I don't think we get it. I don't think we get one over if we have to give up either Dario or Korkmaz to do it.
Listen, they're a star away.
Oh yeah,
yes.
From being able to really play and beat the Cavs. But I don't think he can look 4 years down the road with this pick. And you talk about Danny Ainge, he can't.
No.
He's got to look right. He's got he's got to not worry about LeBron or worry about right now. I mean, he needs to look 5 years down the line when LeBron's not the same player. So he can't, I don't think he can draft a guy to worry about beating the Cavs right now. He's got to draft the best guy that's going to be a superstar player for his organization. And I think that's what Ainge does, and I think that's what we should do with 3. I think that's who Jackson is. I think you're winning. You got up there because of the Sacramento pick was able to get you up into the top 3 because really we would have fell at 5, and we were able to get up to 3, and look, we're winning.
I think where Jackson excels even over him is I think he's a better defender.
Ranking.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, when you talk about Jackson, he has the ability to be such a transcendent defender, which could easily, it fits in perfectly with the Sixers. That's why, I get it. They need a shooter. Yeah, he may not be the best ball handler, but I just look at it and say, if this guy can make a huge difference from day one when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, I go after him and he's my guy.
Right.
Dude, your guy Gregory.
I know,
buddy.
I'm watching.
All right, we're giving you a shout out. Say his last name.
Greg Brailsford.
There you go.
Kyle, what's up?
Getting them all out.
Answer me.
Yeah, get them all out. Tony Cotillo chiming in. No one wants John. No way that gets us 1. This is earlier. Ainge fleeces others. He doesn't get fleeced. True.
It's a good point.
Drew, could we trade a few second picks and move into the first? I don't value second rounders, and I think most smart GMs don't in the NBA.
I don't understand why people don't get that in the NBA draft, anything after 15, 16, 17 is a crapshoot. The NBA draft might as well be 1 round because second-round draft picks, don't get me wrong, there are some guys that were drafted in the second round. Draymond Green's a perfect example that do find success in the NBA, but the number that don't far outweighs the ones that hit.
Here's a quick question for you guys. We talked about for a second that it's almost a lock to some people, and I don't disagree if people were to call it a lock that Lonzo's going to go to the Lakers. Do you think there's any chance in hell the Lakers say Lonzo's there, which I think he's going to be? Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any chance in hell they pass on him? Because I feel like part of me wants that to happen just based off of the internet firestorm and how much fun that is going to, that's be able to watch that. But 2, I don't want that to happen because maybe that opens up the door for the Sixers to take him at 3.
I don't think they pass on him.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Magic's
I'm just
passing on him.
see if there's any conspiracy theories in the room.
But if
I think that was proven last night.
Yeah. You can't tell me the look on Magic Johnson's face last night doesn't just prove that this whole damn thing is rigged. It's ridiculous.
You think it's rigged?
Oh yeah. And I think the reason that the Lakers got number 2 was to put an element of doubt that it's not rigged, because
Thank you.
Because realistically, Magic went to Adam Silver and was like, "Yo, number 1 pick, right, dog?" And Adam Silver was like, "No, get a clue. You need to be a little bit smart about this. If I'm gonna keep you in the top 3, so you don't lose that pick, you're getting number 2."
Well, to your point, I would have completely agreed with you if, and I said this in one of the posts last night. If Lakers had the number 1 pick, you would be hearing me all day long saying, "Oh my God, fix."
I still think it's fixed.
I don't even know why they have it. Why doesn't the worst team previous year draft first?
Well,
I don't get it.
That's a
I'll
discussion.
never understand
I completely agree with you.
It went essentially right for the first 2. So they're in their spots where they're supposed to be, but it still shouldn't even come down to that.
Right.
And it obviously just is because it's the Celtics, and it's okay. If it was the Nets drafting 1, or really supposedly getting that pick, I could see them dropping to 3. You know what I mean? This is how the league works. But I don't think any way the Lakers pass on Lonzo to that point. I think that's pretty much a done deal.
I completely
as long as Fultz goes 1, and I think he does.
I completely agree with Malik where he says no way the Lakers would pass on Lonzo. Lonzo is very marketable right now for the Lakers organization. That's the whole other thing. Not only is he projected to be, a game changer on the court, but you just look at the whole market value. The father, just the big baller brand going to L.A. Not only is L.A. going to love it, but the league is going to love it. And obviously Lonzo and LeVar are going to love it too.
Yeah, Lenny Robinson, it can't be rigged. The best Sixers reporter since Jasner, Bob Cooney, confirmed it's not fixed. Then get over it. And I agree with you, Len. And I just think it's stupid. I think some years you can say like for us in Philly, we feel like at times it was because we should have got 1 and we didn't for different reasons. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we ended up still getting that 1 through the whole thing. We did get that number 1 pick that we were losing for. So, some years with Cleveland, you felt like maybe, they were getting one, and maybe at times you felt like that was just to help Bron out. So, or to bring Bron back to Cleveland.
Well,
but I don't think it is.
I kept hearing, and seeing on social media, like, how in the world do the Lakers have the number 2 pick again? Well, they've kind of sucked the last few years.
True story.
That kind of helps things out.
Rob Bass wants to know, do the Sixers make the playoffs this year? I'm going to say yes. In the Eastern Conference, I'm going to say yes. But again, it's about these guys being healthy.
It's a trap.
They got to be on the floor. I think Simmons is a freak. He's going to change this game a lot.
It's going to be a problem.
He's going to change the way the NBA game's played a lot because he can do everything.
Well, I got a quick question for you fellas as well, because I was looking on CBS Sports, and they put out this article asking, with the Sixers landing this third pick, are they building the super team? Because, you look at consecutive drafts, you have Okafor, Embiid, Simmons, and now you're still getting another top player at 3, even if it's not Fultz. Can this team be stopped when healthy? Is this a super team?
Well, I think it's getting close, Rob, because I think the best player in the NBA that nobody knows about or talks about is Dario Saric. I think he is. Really. Watch his game. Watch what he brings to the table. He's physical. He's got energy. All right, and the guy plays. He's not injured ever, too. That's a big part of it.
Hold on, though.
Right?
I got to jump on this because it's too funny. And Ryan, I think you saw this too. Alex Ocasio. Abso-fucking-lutely, the NBA lottery is rigged. As soon as I saw the Lakers would have also lost their 2019 pick, if they lost this year's, I said to myself, yeah, no chance we get it.
No, I get that part to where, I went into it because the people on the TV, they were saying like, oh, this could be the year where, the future of the Lakers is completely screwed. It's like, no, the league's not going to allow that to happen.
No, that doesn't happen.
If it was like Sacramento or something, they'd probably allow it to happen, but not the Lakers.
What, not fall out of the top 4?
Well, just completely get screwed where they lose their 2 picks.
Yeah, you knew going in that the Lakers weren't going to lose them picks. You just knew that wasn't going to happen. Now you can say fix whatever, but essentially they shouldn't because the league got it right. Like the NBA draft lottery this year got it right. So how can you this year specifically say anything about fix because everybody fell in the spots they're supposed to be in? Like if we would have got the Lakers pick, what do you think Lakers fans would be saying? This shit's freaking fixed. Blah, 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 blah. Because this is the way it goes. One way or the other if you don't land where you're supposed to. But for us, how could we be feeling that way when essentially we went 5 and then we're guaranteed to be in the top 3? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For Sixers fans, we did well. Wait, clap your hands, everybody. You're Philadelphia. 76ers, right? That's just how it goes. You did well.
Right, but you know where this comes from. It all comes from Magic Johnson or – actually, it comes from freaking Dunleavy coming out, was it last week or the week before, saying, oh, we're not going to fall out of the top 3. Don't worry. Magic already assured me of that.
Well, here's a quick question to you, Mike.
Oh, that's a guy you want to put a muzzle on if you're Magic or just fake AIDS with him.
A quick question to you, Mike, because this goes hand in hand with what I was going to say, to where, say the Sixers got 2. Say they got 1. Would you still be saying it's fixed?
Thanks, Troy.
That's actually a really good question.
Troy Woodson.
Because
I concur with the guy in the Phillies shirt.
Well, but here's the thing. If they get 1, it would have been their own.
Okay.
It would have had to have been their own. To get 2 could have been either their own or Sacramento's. So, at that point, you've got multiple shots. Number 3 would have been their own or Sacramento. So, again, multiple shots. So, if the Sixers got number 1, I would think there may have been something a little sketchy there that they want to build that Embiid, Simmons, and blank brand. Mm-hmm. But I think if the Sixers would have gotten number 2, then you're at a point where you don't know whether it was their number 2 or Sacramento's number 2. And although I think they did say, like right out of the gate when they went Sacramento at 5, that it was the Sixers pick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Malik's saying Lakers moved up 1 slot from where they were projected.
Right.
Okay, Phoenix dropped 2 spots. Same top 4 teams from last year, just Sixers and Celtics switched spots. So, I'm just not going to buy into it being rigged. I said there's some years where it smells fishy, but Listen, when you talk about big business, though, Daddy, there's both sides of the argument because big business, a lot of times, there's a lot of fixing going on.
There's a lot of fixing.
So I'm not saying it is or isn't. I think it fell essentially where it should have fell this year. I really do. The Lakers shouldn't have fell out of the top. I hate the freaking Lakers, but they shouldn't have fell out of the top 4 as much as I wanted that goddamn pick. But guess what? I still don't think they're going to be good enough next year. And that pick's unprotected. And I'm not Mr. the next year because I hate that. I'll throw something at the goddamn camera. But it matters because you're just stockpiling. You're getting a chance to you're getting more of a chance year in and year out to nail and land more stars in a star-driven league. The more I can get and gather my puppies as stars and just rest them on my teat and go to work with Colangelo, let's go.
All right,
that's where I'm at.
So, Ryan,
Yeah.
if you had to make the pick right now, who are you taking?
Josh Jackson.
Robbie, any input on that? If you have to make the pick right now.
Absolutely, I'm with you with Jackson, Brodo. I mean, you get a good
I
compliment of a guy that
can
can score
I was
and
Mr.
defense.
Goddamn Jackson. Go ahead, Rob.
No,
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And you're doing Jackson too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right, so
I'm
now-
bending his ass over. I'm Josh Jackson up at this
All right.
point. He's the best player at 3. You can get faces all you want. What I'll do for a trip down Broad in Patterson for a Sixers parade, the things I would
pick him
do.
up from the
And I'm a
airport. I'll do
married
that.
goddamn man.
All right, so
things
now-
you do for your team.
So now here's my moral compass question for you.
I'm not bending him over.
If you wouldn't take Joe Mixon as an Eagles GM, why will you take Josh Jackson as a Sixers GM?
I'm not thinking, hey, go, guys.
If you wouldn't take Joe Mixon as the Eagles GM, why then is it okay to take Josh Jackson as the Sixers GM?
All right. Well, I mean, when you look at Mixon, first off,
I mean, it's pretty close to the same thing. There's just no video for Josh Jackson.
well, that matters.
There you go.
That matters.
There you
I mean,
go.
when I seen it in front of my face that you're
Seeing is
handsy with
believing.
women, when I seen it in front of my face that you're handsy with women like Greg Hardy, like bruises and stuff like that, or guns on the bed and shit like that, if I see it, Ray Rice, Joe Mixon, them things stick in your head. When you don't see it, now what do you get charged? I don't know his whole backstory. He got charged with what? What was his
It was domestic battery.
domestic battery? What was the degree? Was it a felony?
I'd have to get a little more information.
Did the kid
on that.
get hit with a felony? I mean, these matter when we're playing this game right now. Did he? And then what other stuff did he get in trouble through his life too? Like Mixon's been in a lot of trouble, and to my response from all NFL execs would say that they were talking about a parking ticket that was unpaid, and then he got in an argument with a cop. So there was a red flag more than just the one incident, which is red flagged enough. Okay, so to me, Mixon had a little bit more stuff that if you didn't feel like he learned anything, not that it's right either way. Let me know when you get that. But I take Jackson. I don't, Mixon's a running back, and he wasn't going in the top 15.
Here's the interesting
without
thing.
it.
When I just search Josh Jackson charged, and the first thing that comes up is not even the domestic. It's the fact that
taking
he
a
was
charge?
charged with property damage after.
Well, here's what it is.
Misdemeanor, property damage. What else you got?
It's kicking the car of a female student.
Oh, did he hit her?
Well, she was getting into the car. See, that this whole thing was bullshit because it got downgraded. She's getting into the car,
Bring him. Right.
and he takes a swing at her.
3.
And he takes a swing at her.
With his hands or his legs?
I don't
Is
know.
he
There's
like
difference.
karate? Big difference. If you're just going for the door because you're mad, you're not trying to hit her. You just want to get like a little physical with the door. There's a lot of it's fishy, but it's not mixing. I didn't see it. And the story, like you're telling me, just seems like it's in pieces, right?
Well, here's the thing. So supposedly she was running from him, managed to get to her car as he was taking a swing at her, and he did $1,000 worth of damage to her car. And this is a freshman in college, so that concerns me a little bit.
So you're still seeing a temper. He's running.
Good.
He's inspiring fear.
Good. He didn't hit her. He did damage to the car. That's actually a smart guy.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you
channeled it.
No, he channeled it. Yes.
Yes.
He went right. Oh, you know what?
You know what we do now?
Videos are all around. I'm gonna kick the shit out of this car.
I say she just outran him to the car. He's
slow.
He's slow.
I don't trust his legs.
He's slow.
League Monk. Let me change my answer.
He got a bad foot. He's got a bad foot. Got a bad wheel.
The wheels are bad.
You know what we do?
She outran
Bring
him.
him to a big market, and you channel that anger. Bring it on the court. That's what you do now. Channel it instead of channeling it to the car. You channel it to the court.
What up, Pop? Pop Martinez chiming in. What up, fellas? Lenny, I think he's saying that he likes the fire that I'm making. And Lenny says, yeah, it is big business, but something like this is so heavily watched and microscoped. He doesn't think it is. Tony Cotillo says, good point to that. They're now back in good graces with each other because them two were firing back and forth about Cooney. That was funny. I was reading it on here. They were firing back and forth at each other. I couldn't even keep up. Like, if I tried to read it on air, I couldn't keep up. They were firing. Jay Grows Moss, Fultz or Fox, please. Well, Fultz is off the table, and I'm not taking Fox at 3. Not with Jackson on the board. I can't take Fox at 3.
Now, here's a question. Not talking about what we would do. Mm-hmm. What do you think right now? What do you think they're going to do? Because that could be two completely different things, as opposed to what you want them to do as opposed to what they're going to do.
I have an answer, and I don't even like my own answer.
Neither do I.
I think they're going to take Tatum 3.
I thought it was going to be Monk.
Well, Monk said last night that he believes he's going to translate great because he believes he's a great pick-and-roll guy. And the league's a big pick-and-roll leg. I just think he's a little undersized.
Yes. And you know what? He might be a great shooter off of a pick-and-roll, but I don't know exactly how well he's going to get off the contact to get open.
And I view him like I think he's going to be a good player, an above-average player, even great player. When you talk about the value of the number 3 pick, I don't know if I can confidently say I can't confidently say that Malik Monk is the third best overall player.
I mean, I love Monk's game.
So do I.
But I don't think he's a number 3 pick.
Maybe a 5, maybe not 3
now,
in my opinion.
What I said last night is that if the Sixers would have wound up with 2 and 4, I have no problem taking him at 4 if he's the second of my picks.
Yes.
But I can't take him at 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, Jordan Smith, he believes Malik Monk is the obvious pick. Well, we just said that we don't believe that that's the case. We believe it's a Jackson.
You know what, though? I love the fact that there's so many different opinions.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
I want it because that's the thing. And nobody, it's all speculation for everybody. No, the only person who knows is BC and some of the jerk-offs down there.
Well, there's people out there that just absolutely love Dennis Smith.
I think I got an inside track. Because right when you asked me before, it just so happened right at that time, a fan of our page, James Jackson. I don't know if that's a relation.
It's a sign.
Johnny D. Nicio says Fox. Again, not at 3 or Jackson. Jackson at 3. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where Rye's at. That's where Rob's at. Mike's in a different direction on trading with Sacramento for 5 and 10, and then going Fox and was it Jackson too, right?
It's Justin Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
The swingman out of North Carolina, who honestly, I like him a lot. Like I said, I acknowledge at 10 is probably a little early for him, but I think that kid's just got a ton of talent.
Yeah, Malik Blaylock says Malik Monk struggles against taller defenders, doesn't create too much on his own. I agree with that completely. That's why I don't take him 3. That's why none of us are taking him 3.
Right.
Jordan Smith says he's a perfect fit, which if he was just like 2 inches tall.
I was going to say, if he's 6'5", he's a perfect fit.
Yeah, but he's just too small to play that position and be able to guard defensively at that position, which is so important. Troy T. Roy Woodson, absolutely no Monk at 3. Reminds me of Lou Williams type player. Josh Jackson all the way. In agreement, Troy. You know this. I'm in agreement with the guys on Josh Jackson here. I want Jackson because Fultz and Ball are gone, and Jackson, in my opinion, is actually I think he could be better than Lonzo. Fultz, I think, is just a stud. And Danny Ainge, you fucking creep. He's so smart, dude.
All right, so let me pose a question.
That dumb.
Let me pose a question.
Yeah, pose away.
Yeah.
Let's say they do draft Jackson. Mm-hmm. On the defensive end of the floor, how are you matching up against a Kyrie Irving, an Isaiah Thomas, a John Wall, a
TBD,
a Kemba Walker, like
TBD?
Because you're probably
to be determined.
I mean, you're probably looking at Ben's going to have to guard the opposing team's 3. Which means Jackson's then going to have to guard the 2.
He can handle that one.
Which means you're going to have somebody on the floor, whether it's a Gerald Henderson, a Gerald Bayless, even, if he's still around, a McConnell, somebody like that who's going to have to be on the floor.
Yeah, but you know what helps you?
You
know what helps you in that situation is you're so big and long inside. And I'm a purist. I still think you win inside out. consistently, okay? And I think that's where Sam Hinkie's direction was here in Philadelphia. And I think when you're that big inside, at least you alter the shots coming in. If you don't have the guy, like right now, that's your true point, that's your point guard, he can match up with Kyrie, blah, 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 in terms of defensively, like you're talking about, that's not here yet, but you're so big around that and tall inside, I think that helps you. For this year, in terms of if you want to be a playoff team, I think you can get in the East with that one position being your only weakness. Because if you look at it, you're literally in other spots.
But it's funny because for as much as Josh Jackson kind of works the offensive end and can play defense against the 2s and 3s, that's where you look at a guy like a De'Aaron Fox or a Dennis Smith or even the Frank Ntilikina from France, a guy that could come in and play off the ball so that Ben can facilitate, but then can guard the point on defense. So, I mean, there's a lot to consider. And like I said, I don't think a Josh Jackson pick is wrong. I just wouldn't be surprised if they went in another direction. And if they do, for my money, I hope it's Fox.
Is there any chance the Celtics don't get Fultz?
No, unless Danny Ainge became an idiot overnight.
Because it's the best talent, and you got to even if that's what you're drafting to your strength already.
The projected best superstar in this draft is Markelle Fultz, and it's not even up for debate, in my opinion.
Right.
And people could disagree with that, but it's not even up for debate. A guy who can score, who can drop you 30 a game in the NBA, them guys don't grow on trees. And what he can handle and do with the basketball, and he's thick and he's big, in my opinion, and I don't know. I like his game a lot. I really do. So,
Alex Ocasio chiming in again. A lot of people thought Jahlil Okafor might have been the best player in his draft, and look what happened. Devin Booker was a better fit, and look where we're at now. You just never know. I love Jackson's potential as a shooter. Did you see that step back he hit on Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, I did.
It was pure, and with his work ethic, he'll figure it out.
Johnny D. Nacio are talking about if we get Jackson, the guy from Europe comes over, and the way Luwalu's been playing, and Ben and JoJo, I really do think we can compete. I agree with that. And again, I'll worry about a guy from Europe when he gets here. That's my opinion on guys from Europe. Like when they get here and I see them, like Dario, you could tell was special because he's just physical and the things he did. But the rest, I'll wait.
And there's a thing with Korkmaz too.
Tatum, Pop. No Tatum. Sorry. No Tatum. He's saying no to Tatum too.
We don't want Tatum. But with Korkmaz being over there, personally, I mean, like I've watched video on the kid, and he flashes big, but it's not consistent enough. And I said the same thing about Dario the year before he came over. One more year is going to help him immensely.
Well, you don't need him right now.
And you don't need him right now. And he's got a huge buyout this year because it's more than a year early. And supposedly he would have to cover 70% of the buyout out of his own pocket.
Not happening.
Which means basically any bonus money the Sixers give him goes right back to his team in Europe for the buyout. So you might as well just leave him there for a year. Let him polish his game and come over when the buyout's not nearly as expensive.
Johnny D. Nacio says no more Duke players, LOL.
Oh, wow. I was wrong about game one, huh? Woo, Sweep's taking a shot at me. I love when guys because you know what I get excited about? Because he will, Sweeps will, but I love like I go out on limbs a lot. Like I like to be brash with my opinions on stuff. It's too easy to just oh, okay, yeah, Cleveland should win. Yeah, they're gonna win the goddamn series. I just thought that the layoff could get them all to a slow start in the series. But guess what?
That's much.
That's what happens when I second guess the king. All right, that's on fucking me. I hold myself accountable. But it would have been easy to say, oh, yeah, Cleveland rolls game one. Shit. Damn it. This game ain't about being easy. This game's about, hey, then guess what? If it happens, I get to crown myself. No. Both sides.
Why don't you just tell people, look, I'm an entertainer. I say shit for the masses.
He knows. They just like taking shots.
Well, it's funny, too.
Every chance they freaking get. Them two feed off of every fucking word I say is microscoped and broken down. I'm telling you, I get texts about shit I didn't even know I said. I'm telling you. Them guys are good.
Well, here's a question.
They're good at just getting on my ass.
You're not entertained.
Well, hold on. Before we even go there, just to get into what we're talking about.
My ass or?
To get into what we're talking about here a little bit. Game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, halftime, 61-39
Yikes.
Cleveland.
Yeah, well, we're taking a shot at myself.
Hashtag defend the land.
Matt Hayward signed Iverson to a 10-day contract and watch him get buckets.
This is the way this thing goes, though.
That's
to where
that's hilarious.
Hold on, I don't dislike Tatum because of Duke. I dislike Tatum because of Tatum. Okay? Like, to me, at Duke, he didn't do anything to really wow me.
Right.
Okay? Like, Jabari was wow at Duke, and then he got hurt. You know, 'cause there's guys who've been wowed at Duke, like Ja. Ja wowed me and lied to me at the same time.
Ja was wow at Duke.
he didn't fly off the screen. Tatum didn't fly off the screen.
Johnny, it is a deep draft to that point too, but yeah, I stay away from Tatum just because I don't like Tatum. Now, does Duke play a factor? Yeah, there's like, you know, a little birdie in my ear saying, well, you know, how about Duke guys? So.
Robbie, I don't want to do you a disservice here. 4-0 Ottawa over the Pens. 3 minutes left in the second.
I'm supposed to be the hockey guy, not you.
That's why I said I didn't want to do you a disservice.
No.
I gotta give you a little bit of hockey love.
Well, I was going to cut in with it, but it was good basketball talk. The two shall not mix, but it's always good when the Penguins are going to be 4-0. You know,
you saw what happened last week when people cut in with hockey talk.
Yes. Delete.
My question to you is with Wilson and sweeps, would they be the same guys that say you did a video saying that, oh yeah, the Cavs are going to win. The Cavs are going to win. Would they come at you saying, oh my God, you're speaking obvious, Tom, obvious? Would they be doing that too?
Yeah, way to go out.
That's the way this game goes.
Way to go out on a limb.
Yeah. Thanks for telling us something we already know. You know what I mean?
Probably.
And it's not just them. It's just that's the way this game goes.
Marcellus, Dawson, Jackson will challenge for number 1 before it's over.
Hey, you know what? Let the Celtics take them because I'll go pick Markelle Fultz up at the airport and drive him to the.
Oh hell yeah!
Drive him to the Wells Fargo Center.
Wherever he needs to drive to.
I'll be
get a massage.
I'll be your
stop
free
at a
Uber.
local Asian massage parlor, and you know, take care of yourself after a long flight. Whatever the guy needs, we'll handle.
Exactly. I'll pick him up, take him to Atlantic City, whatever he wants.
We're not police.
We're men of the people, right?
We're not police. I swear, we're not police. Do we get? I'm sorry. All right. Do we get the full thing? Full service? All right. Yeah, so Pop, yeah, I believe we have a chance to be an 8 seed. If everybody's healthy and everybody plays, I can see he going up to a 6. As good as Embiid is when he's on the court, and if he plays a full year, and what I know of Ben Simmons, they're dangerous, but they're young. But that could be a good thing. Well, sometimes, not even knowing the situation you're in and being so young can help you.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought up the Embiid thing because I saw in a group, and yes, I understand it's dangerous going in some of these groups. I saw a post this morning saying, now that the draft season is officially here, I can't wait to see the draft guys come on to the court with an Embiid that's going to play the entire season. Not only that's off base in my opinion, and that's my question here. Realistically, how many games do you go into the season anticipating Embiid to play, and what's like the limit? Like if he gets to a certain amount of games, what would keep you from being disappointed?
Well, and that's a great question, and I'll tell you that with the changes that they're making to the NBA schedule this year, where there are far fewer back-to-backs, if he is 100% healthy and cleared to start the season, I got to get at least 34 to 36 minutes a night out of him for 65 games.
Wow. For you to be, satisfied.
Well, here's the thing, though. At some point, he's going to want to talk extension.
That's literally the next thing I was going to.
So if he wants to talk extension, that's what I need. I need 34 to 36 a night for 65 games. And there's wiggle room there. Mm-hmm. If he winds up playing 36 to 38, maybe even 40 minutes a game, which is a ridiculous amount for a center. But let's just say that for whatever reason, they're just in every game and his minutes are real high. Well, if his minutes are high and they want to back him down to 58 to 60 games and it doesn't affect their place in the standings, I'm fine with that. I think the piece of this, and Tommy, this is kind of where I wanted to weave you back in, is what you guys were talking about playoffs. I think as they're constructed right now, if Embiid and Simmons are both completely healthy, they get in as a 7 or 8 seed. If they sign Kyle Lowry and everything seems to be pointing in that direction, I think Lowry could get them as high as a 5 seed, but I also think he's the reason they don't advance.
Listen, I mean, you know my opinion on Lowry. I like him. He's a good player, but I don't need to go sign him to a ton of money.
Right.
Like, I'm banking on these kids to be good, and I want the money for the kids. How much does Joel Embiid have to play? He better play 78 games. I mean, shit. He better. I mean, that's 4 games off. Okay? That gig's over to me. That whole party's over. All right, I can only trust the process for so goddamn long before I need you to
Probably
see
said
you
it
play
about
a full
80 times
season.
last night too.
Yeah, I need a complete season out of Joel Embiid. I need a complete season out of Ben Simmons, and then the pieces. Then you see who you are as an organization, how good of a basketball team you're going to be. And I believe if they're both healthy, with Dario and with this third pick, all right, I think this team can easily be a 6, 7, or 8. Like Malik said, 6, 7, 8 are up for the taking.
I mean,
great.
I look at no. Go ahead.
I have no idea why Okafor's on this team, Matt Hayward. I have no idea, and hopefully he drives fast over a bridge and gets away from this team.
Greg Milakovic, so much for Boston winning Game 1. They stopped caring after they got the number 1 pick last night.
Yeah, like what the hell?
The
like
whole
anticlimactic for Boston fans. Like you're in the Eastern Conference Finals and you're shooting for number 1 in the NBA draft lottery. Like what the hell? Like that would be amazing. I can't wait for that day. All right.
We're at the end of the second period. Ottawa now up 5-0 due to Kyle Turris backhanded goal. Sorry, Mikey.
That's okay. I'm actually kind of sitting here wondering how Michael Klinkoff is doing.
That's what I was talking about in terms of Mikey.
The way
I forgot there were 2.
The way I look at the Joel Embiid thing real quick. Listen, I love Ja. I really do. I love Joel Embiid. I'm not ripping
off him.
Hold that thought for 1 second.
Hold on. Bitter Francis, we should stay young in terms of, not Lowry.
Remind me to come back to the Klinkoff thing later on, okay? Sorry, Ryan.
I think he's doing a lot, and I'm not ripping him by any means, but I think he's doing too much talking for a guy who's seen a limited at best amount of court time. Like, he did a lot of talking last night. And he can have fun. Like, I'm not saying, they need to be... Embiid last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did a ton of talking.
Were you talking about Oak or Embiid before? Because you said
Embiid.
You said you like Oak. You meant
No,
Embiid.
no, I meant Embiid.
Yeah, you meant okay, good.
No, I don't. No, Okafor, no. That's not.
I'm
not going to get that cute.
I don't have a problem.
They're not
going
to win 20 games if these kids all play. That game's over.
Yes.
They won more than 20 games this year.
That's what he was sent to do.
Of course, and
I mean,
like I said, I'm not trying to say that he should be disciplined. Like, oh, I only answer interviews if I play. Like, no. My whole thing is, we need to start looking at this guy as, instead of being just a fun guy to have on your roster in your locker room,
and your social media feed.
Yeah, and he's great on social media. He's phenomenal.
He should be great on the court.
He needs to transition to a guy where he's a lot of fun to watch play basketball.
Oh, no question.
And he was for the short time we got to see him. He was a hell of a lot of time.
Well, and that's
watch.
I mean, you're spot on there, because it's right now they're capitalizing on the fact that they're basically building a marketing campaign around him, and then to a certain extent, Ben joining him. Where this goes, though, and it kind of speaks to what both of you guys are talking about, is that if he doesn't play a full season this year, that marketing train starts slowing down a whole lot.
Thank you.
And then he just becomes a fun guy, a good follow on social media, and
an even bigger question mark.
And an even bigger question mark, exactly.
Because I think the organization right now, obviously, it's not a bold statement. They took advantage of Joel Embiid, the brand.
Oh yeah.
This is not only on the organization, it's on Embiid. It's on Embiid. And I understand he's not purposely getting injured. We need to start viewing him, and the organization needs to start taking advantage of Joel Embiid, the player, especially because, like we touched on, next summer he's a restricted free agent. And, as time progresses, you're going to hear more and more extension talk. Mm-hmm. My whole thing is they need to cut the crap with the baby stuff. You understand?
Yeah, because when you're going in the free agency, I need to see you play a complete season.
If he's going to be this centerpiece, if he's going to be the guy for this team, how about you treat him like the guy instead of, he's a project. We're going to be real careful, because we've seen that for too friggin' long.
Yeah, Johnny saying he personally doesn't think he was hurt. Oh, you're right up in the last time. You're right up with me now. We're talking the same language, because that's how I felt. I didn't think that last time he was even hurt. I just thought that was a tank at the end.
You thought they just shut him down?
Oh, right. Yep. Shut him down.
I can't say that I disagree with that.
Neither can I. If you want to call it conspiracy theories, that's fine. I think it's just kind of common sense at this point.
Yeah, Vitter's saying, and these young guys, what is he saying? To see these young guys staying in Philly after rookie contracts, if we just keep getting the same young, fragile players. Well, I mean, these guys got to play. No question about it.
But here's the thing. And Ryan, maybe this is conspiracy theory, but was it a situation where maybe Ben legitimately was hurt, and they got to a point where maybe he could come back, but he wouldn't have been able to play enough games to be eligible for Rookie of the Year, which if he wins Rookie of the Year, he gets a huge financial bonus. So maybe Ben and the agent said, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Sixers kind of said, well, if Ben's not coming back, JoJo.
I'm going to sit you down, too.
Oh, to
Now
your
we're gonna
point,
tank a little bit.
not only would the Rookie of the Year status help Ben, don't you think it would really help the organization because they can promote to the fans, oh, look, we have Rookie of the Year.
Well, they would have had Rookie of the Year with Joel Embiid if they didn't shut him down, though.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but, you know,
So they could have had back-to-back Rookie
I don't
of the
think
Year.
the Sixers are worried about that. I think these players are for money.
yeah.
But I mean,
Oh, I agree with you.
Listen, they both have to play, and they both have to play complete seasons.
Ryan makes a good point, though, because could you imagine, though, with all the cap money that they're going to have available, the free agent draw that, hey, you, Mr. Superstar free agent, could go play with the two guys that are the last two Rookies of the Year? Mm-hmm. I mean, it could still happen. Joel could win it. Dario could win it. We don't know.
Well,
But
yeah, Tony's saying, do you play? He may never play more than 30 games a year. Do you max him out when do you just max him out when the time comes? Well, I'm not maxing him out. If he plays 78 games, at 82, and I'm not saying he's playing 40 minutes a night here. You know what I mean? Like the guy can play 30, 35 minutes a night and still be really impactful and do what he does. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to wear him out like AI and play him every minute, every game. I don't need that from him.
see, I'd be real leery of max contracts because you look at what the Lakers did last year. I mean, the Lakers needed a big in the worst way, and they went and they gave freaking Timothy Mozgov a max contract. Got him out of Cleveland, gave him a max contract, and what did he play? 16 games for them this year? Like, with big men, it not only is it about how well they play, but it's about how well they play in their given situation and how healthy they stay. And there's so many more variables with a big than there are with a point guard or a 3, even a 4, that I love Joel Embiid, but I'd be real leery of giving him a max deal.
Oh, I'm not giving max deals until I see a guy play a complete season and show me he can handle it. Show me the body can handle it. Doctors telling me the body can handle it. Vetter saying the same thing. He wanted max him. You can't justify that. He's saying no free agent wants to come here. I mean, that time can change when they do. It's all about Ben, too. This is a big part of it.
I think as soon as Ben shows what he is, I feel like that immediately changes.
Can we just get off that narrative, though, of no free agent wants to come
Yeah,
here?
like-
I completely disagree with that.
Yeah,
Money talks.
Well, that and obviously the money is going to talk, but they say that they don't want to play in front of this fan base. That Sixers have bad fans or whatever. I'm sorry. I went to 3 games last year, and every single one of those games was 80 to 90% full, and I only saw Joel Embiid play one time.
Yeah, well, he brought people down. Like Johnny Denicia was saying that, they were promoting. He was a season ticket holder, and when he was going to game in February, they were trying to promote Embiid for the All-Star game, and after that didn't happen, all of a sudden he saw him handing out flyer stuff for next season.
Right.
So what does that tell you? Yeah, and I smelled that from the get, that wasn't even – that was the case, that they were just sitting him out. What do you got, right?
Here's one. You're going to enjoy this. We're not going to enjoy this, but we're going to enjoy this. Brian Wilson chimes in. Celtics looking like they have the Cavs right where they want them, huh, Tommy?
Nobody fucking said that. I said I think they could win game 1, and they were going to lose in 6. Oh, I said the Cavs are going to win in 6. Where does this come from? All right? Grow up, Peter Pan. All right, let's take a break.
He'll be back in a minute.
Take a break. We'll come back.
Before we do, I think last week I did say I could see the Cavs sweeping them, so.
All right, everybody's a fucking hero tonight.
I'll just ride that out for now.
Yeah, well, everybody ride out their shit. It's this is how the game's played too, right? I mean, you're going to be right and wrong. I don't really give a shit. I'll still sleep fine tonight, and I'll get more right than wrong. Yeah, I said I thought they win tonight. What did I running from, you fucking idiot? I said this 20 times 20 minutes ago. I said this. It came up. Pay attention. All right? I said that I thought they could win game 1 because the layoff maybe hurt Cleveland for game 1. I said the Cavs were going to win in 6. Roll that goddamn tape. Because it's on a fucking video on A2D of me saying this.
Got nicknames now.
No, can't jock you. Peter Pan, I'm fired up with you. Sometimes I really don't like him.
Excuse me, can I be excused?
He knows how to just get it under my fucking skin.
Can I be excused? I want out. Don't hurt me, Daddy.
I'm sorry. Guy, did we hang on every word I say? What about all the shit I was getting right? Yeah, he was working. I know he was.
Yeah, it's all.
But how about all the shit I get right? You don't see me coming on, I got this right, I got that right. I don't want to give a shit. You can like what I say wrong, like what I say right, because at the end of the day, nobody's 100% right in this business, and if somebody tells you they are, they're a goddamn liar. And this is the worldwide leader of real goddamn talk. We don't do that.
It only counts when you're wrong, man. They don't tell you when you're right.
You want me to go get the Movado upstairs with all the diamonds in it, Wilson, really show the people how the big dog rolls, and then people are trying to hold me up like James Harden and shit, trying to do to people. I don't have time for that in my life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Can we take a break now, please? Thanks.
Absolutely. I was kind of waiting for you to do
on the
that.
other side, we'll talk draft. If anybody wants to chime in, draft stuff, of course. We're going to talk a little Phillies. Rhys Hoskins another homer tonight.
Getting whooped on right now, but
Eagle Shot, LeGarrette Blunt, Brandon Graham, all that coming up. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2DRadio.com. Segment was brought to you by Soap Stash LLC, the new soap standard. Find them on the web, soapstash.com, as well as our certified public accountant, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find him on the web, gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Tom and Mike, AM and the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
Welcome back, Tom.
Mike,
AM.
in the PM.
HUDRadio.com. We're live from the BMW of Atlantic City studios. We're right here at Mount E from New Jersey. BMW of Atlantic City, Ralph exit 37 in the Parkway. Find them online, BMWofAtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public account. Make them yours. Gibson Mayer, LLC. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Renault, Michael Mataraki, Ryan Brodo, Rob Povey on the ones and twos. We started the show talking Sixers, talking NBA draft. We can continue that if people want to chime in. We're going to segue into some Phils, some Eagles, and get in that direction. But if you're just joining us with the third pick of the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers will select Malik Monk, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, or other. Let us know Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. So we'll take that into some Phil's talk, and I know you wanted to touch on some kids that are raking tonight, and a couple kids who continue to hit the cover off the ball.
Yeah, I do, but I want to get into something that, and
I forgot something. Give me 1 second. I always forget this. Poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. We're back.
This was something that I kind of ran by both of you on Friday night, and then sort of kind of backed off of it because I didn't feel like reshooting it, and I didn't want to get into a lot of detail on it. But I want to meet the goddamn guy who was responsible for writing the algorithm that spit out this year's Major League Baseball schedule. Because if you want to bury a team in the standings before Memorial Day, you just have them play the team that's going to be the projected division winner 12 times. 12 times in your first 35 games. Like, how the hell do the Phillies have they already played Washington 12 times? They played the Mets 6 times. They've only played Miami and Atlanta 3 times each. I mean, I thought the whole point of going to with the interleague play being throughout the season now was so that you could have balanced scheduling. And if you have to play every team in your division, if you have to play them 18 times, well, you get 9 at home, 9 on the road. Well, there's 6 months in the season. You play a series a month against every team in your division, and you fill out the rest of your schedule. Like, it shouldn't be that hard.
No, it's not. It's not fair to a team that is projected to be last in division or second to last. It's not fair for them to have to play that, a top loaded schedule like that early on. But forget the rest. Like you said, just Washington that many times is not right. It's not fair.
It's like they play Washington 12 out of their first 35, and then 6 out of their last, I think it's like 14 or something like that. So it's like, God forbid they do, claw back into the race and get themselves in position to maybe make a run at a wild card, which, obviously none of us predicted that. But let's just say everything goes right, and they're on the verge of maybe pushing for a wild card, and then you got to go Washington again, 6 out of your last 14?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the piece that I wanted to get into tonight was 2 guys that we talked a little bit about last week were Rhys Hoskins and Jorge Alfaro. And what I want to know is, last year, Tommy Joseph hit so well at AAA that he basically forced the Phillies to call him up earlier than they wanted to. Mm-hmm. What I want to know is, why is the situation this year with Rhys Hoskins any different than the one last year with Tommy Joseph? I mean, understanding that Ryan Howard was in the last year of his contract, and I get that. But is there anybody in this city or on this station that's married to Tommy Joseph?
No,
Not me.
I was never married to him to the get.
I mean, just let me give you some Rhys Hoskins numbers real quick. This year, and this actually counts tonight, 38 games, 336 batting average, 9 homers, 29 RBIs, on-base percentage of .426, slugging .648, OPS of 1074. I mean, this is a kid that everyone in the Phillies system says is the best pure hitter in their system. Oh, and he's got power. Whereas Dylan Cousins is probably the best power hitter in their system, but he's working on getting the average up. Now, I get the whole concept of, the Phillies don't ever do anything before June 1st because they don't want, the clock to start early on a guy. But they did it last year with Tommy Joseph. I mean, this kid's numbers are absolutely off the charts. What in the hell are we waiting for with this kid?
Listen, I have no idea. I mean, Tommy Joseph hasn't lit the world on fire, and
he's
an older, younger player essentially.
Yeah, and he didn't start hitting until the whispers about Hoskins started. So if you're not going to turn it on until you fear for your job, I don't want you here to begin with.
No, and listen, like you said, I mean, the numbers don't lie in this case, and it's been consistent too. This isn't just this year.
He's hit at every level.
The guy's been hitting, and at some point, you take the handlebar. I mean, you take the training wheels off the goddamn bike, and you let some of these kids come up and challenge other guys at the big league level for jobs. Let them fight out the big league level. Why are you married to either? Like, essentially, why are you married to either one for 162 right now?
Right.
Let them battle it out and see who the better one is at the big league level. Right? If one guy's not hitting, the other guy is, then that's the guy you're playing. It's not. This isn't hard.
I don't see anything.
It's not hard.
I don't see anything wrong with the Phillies. Again, they aren't doing anything this year. Again, it was the whole thing of, this could be the year where we figure out if any of these guys in the minor leagues can actually play. And it's ad nauseum to this point that we even have to continuously ask ourselves, what the hell is the difference between, A and B? But my whole thing is, it seems like when they do actually get married to some of these guys, it's to the wrong ones. Like, are the Philadelphia Phillies right now, if they're not bringing up, Rhys Hoskins, they're telling me that they're somehow married to Tommy Joseph.
Well, and I would expand upon that, and I would tell you they're probably also married to Cameron Rupp.
Uh-huh.
When you have Jorge Alfaro, who I think actually should have made the team this year. I don't have a problem with them sending him back down because he did have an option left. He did go to the World Baseball Classic, and he had a big hit there, but he didn't hit real well. So I didn't have a problem with him getting sent back down. But I feel like he should have made the team this year. My thought process on this is I think ownership or management of this team is trying to throw us a bone by saying, oh, well, Brock Stassi made the team and Andrew Knapp made the team.
Yep.
So we're giving some young guys a chance.
Yeah, it's not your studs.
But they're depth guys.
Yeah, not your studs.
We want studs.
You're not giving us the guys we want. You're not giving us, and I'm not putting him in a stud category, but you're not giving us guys like a Roman Quinn, who, when he's healthy, he's always hit and done well. You're not giving us Nick Williams. You're not giving us Rhys Hoskins. You're not giving us Dylan Cousins. You're not giving us some of these guys. Now, Williams, I get it, but still, a guy that is a top 5 player in your organization. You know what I mean? So the top guys in this organization, or the guys who are now separating themselves as some of the top guys in this organization, aren't getting a call up. So what does it say to every kid down there? What do you have to do? Like if you don't reward your guys, like a Rhys Hoskins who's continued to hit, like Mike said, at every level, what does it tell every other kid down there? Like, I'll wait for that goddamn answer because we all know what it is.
Well,
it's not good.
Well, it's funny, the exchange that you and I had the other night when I sent you the picture of the box score where Jeff Singer he's got 9 saves already in Clearwater. And I think you said something to me like the only way he's going to get to Reading is if we go pick him up and drive him there ourselves.
Because we'll baby him too.
Well, this is the thing that scares.
That's a lefty who throws hard, and with a bad bullpen at the major league level. I'm not saying he should be up in the big leagues right now, but he should definitely be advancing systems.
He needs to be fast tracked.
Yeah, there's no, and the thing with him is it's not he signed as a free agent deal. Them kind of deals.
So they
an undrafted free agent.
So they should be fast tracking him.
Yeah, there's no reason they should be. Oh, boom! Hey, you're doing well at this level. Next one, you're doing well at this one. Next one.
Yeah, they don't need to develop him because he's not a kid.
He's young, but he's not. He's not one of their.
But he's not one of their babies.
He's not on their radar as one of their pops. Essentially,
the thing that scares the living hell out of me, and it's twofold. One, it seems like it's become the norm for to see a guy like a Rhys Hoskins or fill in the blank, a prospect that is the hot hand down there, and them almost expecting like, oh, they're not going to do anything with him. That's one. Two, I keep thinking to myself, and maybe I'm overanalyzing it. I'm hoping I am, to where them not bringing up any of their so-called big names that they've been promoting to us for years. Is that them trying to say, okay, we're being cautious? Or is that an indicator of they just don't believe in them? You know what I mean?
No, it's a great point, a great question. I feel like they're at a spot now where, and I don't agree with this at all, but I feel like they're at a spot where they're waiting for that 2018 splash, where they want to go out and spend a shitload of money, and they're doing it ass backwards. Because I feel like what they should be doing is bringing the kids up now.
Preach.
And then you spend the money to fill the holes.
Freaking
and I think what they want to do is they want to spend all the money
and then fill it with the
kids.
Then fill
it with the kids.
So ass backwards.
And it's completely ass backwards.
Because it's so wrong. It's so wrong on so many freaking levels. Because we talked about it a year ago.
Yeah.
That it'd be good to get these kids up for this year so that they get the experience of playing with each other, and then you start to find out what you have, and then what holes do you need to fill in that free agent
Throw money
splash.
at that.
Right.
Okay, like you're starting to find out that, maybe I might have to throw money at Machado because maybe Franco isn't the guy I hoped he would be. Right or wrong, he maybe turns into the guy you thought he would be. I'm not saying that right now. I'm just making a point that you start to find these things out. You find these answers out, and we don't have these answers right now. It's a TBD, to be determined, with all these kids.
It's a big freaking question mark. And, say they did actually, in our opinions, and I think it's the common sense opinion, to where they get out 1 year ahead of it, find out who are the hot shots, big names, go-to guys that are young, and then kind of separate themselves from the ones that have disappointed, or at least showing that, hey, they need an extra, couple months or years or whatever to, really.
Guess what good teams do? Guess what good organizations do? Right? When a kid's ready, a kid's up with the big league team. Look at the Chicago freaking Cubs. Did they wait on the kids? Now, granted, Theo Epstein's the best in the freaking business to go to what he does, but did they wait on these kids? No. It's like, okay, you're hitting at the minor league level. Let's go, because guess freaking what? We're a top 5 market in baseball, and money shouldn't freaking matter. And Chicago's the same way. Money to Theo Epstein doesn't matter because they're going to make it, because when the kids hit at the big league level and you go deep in the playoffs, you win world championships, you're going to make your money back. And for the Philadelphia Phillies, who stunk last year, still made the most money in baseball. So guess what, Matty Quintac? And whoever wants to answer, if it's Singleton, whoever wants to answer up top, whoever that fucking guy wants to be, I'm over this shit. I'm completely over it. It's a joke. It's a mockery when you can watch like the Rays call kids up when they're ready, and the Marlins and small franchises don't have the coin do it, and a big market continues. No matter who replaces who at the top level, ownership of this organization needs to be held freaking accountable to 58 motherfuckers. And that's my stance, and I came hot at it because, listen, I'm tired of not answering to one guy. I want to answer to one guy. I'm tired of answering to 58. The majority ownership's got to go. Because guess what? Great organizations, and I'm sorry, not sorry for my language, but great organizations, right, don't have 58 owners.
Well,
they don't. There's not a round table of goddamn goddamn discussion?
No, and you're right. And,
Shit.
and to
I'm
that,
sorry.
No, to, and
Get
to
it
that-
off.
no, and that-
Cleanse. It's all about cleansing for the fan, by the fan. No goddamn agenda.
And that's fine. And if John Middleton is stepping up and he's saying, I want to be that guy, well, that's fine. You be that guy, but then you got to be accountable.
Yeah.
You can't just be that guy that shows up at press conferences when things are good.
Yeah.
You got to be the guy who answers the tough questions.
Nice suit. Like we don't need that guy.
And you know what's
we need a guy all the time.
Yeah.
Like that guy. Like the one thing you can say about Ruben Amaro Jr., good or bad, okay? And I'll wait for anybody to take the other side on this. He always answered the bell. Do you understand what I'm saying?
He's a little bit of a media whore, but
right or wrong,
right or wrong,
but
I
right
got
or
you.
wrong, he never shied away. Even when he knew his job was done that last year. Even when he knew it going into that year, he didn't run away from any pressers. He didn't run away from any going on the dial and talking, right? The miss, right? He didn't miss any of that stuff, essentially. So I need somebody to be out there in the public. I need to hold somebody accountable for putting these puppies on her tit and milking them and saying, oh, well, guess what? They're 5 years old now, but I want a big, strong boy. Like, grow up. I'm done. That's it. That felt good. Shit. Cards, Giants, Tony saying, etc. Yeah, none of them wait. What the Cards do? Up. Good organizations. Sorry.
I just think it's extremely hypocritical and bipolar, honestly, for, especially on their social media, to where they go out and they promote these young kids. Oh, look at this guy. Look at him. And then it's like, for what? For what? Why should I care? I would love to care because I would love to actually think that we're going to be able to see him while he has the hot hand. But we already know that we're never going to. And it's always, like I said before, with getting out a year ahead of it instead of a year behind. What's so wrong with taking a chance and saying, okay, this kid has shown us stuff. He's obviously the hot hand right now. Let's throw him into the fire right now. Since when has that been a problem? And say, worst case scenario, say it goes bad. Okay, learn your lesson. Here's a little bit of experience. Or maybe you'll be able to realize, hey, maybe he's not our guy.
Well,
it's real simple.
And look,
it's simple.
It
It's simple to sit here and talk about it, but the hierarchy of the Philadelphia Phillies seem to never get it.
Well, if you look at an organization, and you were spot on with your point about the Cubs, but if you look at the Cardinals, I mean, historically, the Cardinals over the years have always had a situation where if they have players down in the minor leagues that are on the 40-man roster, they reward them at certain times of the season by bringing them up and taking them on a couple of road trips so that they get a taste of that big league action.
Yeah.
Or they'll bring them up for a homestand, and it'll give them a start or two day game after a night game to start to acclimate them and get them a taste of what that's going to be like. And what does it do? It makes these guys hungrier when they do get sent back down to go down and rake or to go down and pitch and to make sure that the next time they get called up, they're staying. And the Phillies, it's like they almost will not call you up until you've been ready to come up for 3 months. Like I have a buddy of mine, Dave Keene, that he actually, I think, maybe hit something spot on with the Phillies. He thinks that the Phillies way overvalue their young pitching and way undervalue their position players.
Well, why do you think
Because
they're
it
always
should
the
be-
ones up?
It should be completely flipped.
They're always the ones up. They took pictures to the organization quickly, and I'm okay with that too because there's so many bullets in the chamber. So I'm good with that. You know my stance on that. But it's fast track everybody. That's how I would run an organization. It is fast track everybody because guess what? I'm going to find out who you are at the big league level. It really comes down to that. The Pop goes, the Astros are another team. Pop Martinez, no question about it. And Houston's a good market, and that plays a part. But they don't wait. They don't wait. Right? The Braves don't make a lot of money. They don't wait. And Swanson struggles and has been struggling. But guess what?
He's up.
Find out. Now you can find out how does he adjust from a struggle. Guys are going to struggle, man. You still have to fail. Tony Cotillo, Ed Wade built that Astros team too. Ed Wade was always a guy who
Built a winner and then got booted.
Yeah, build a winner.
Because nobody had patience.
Yeah, but he also could never really finish at the dance. You know what I mean? He was never a closer at the dance.
Right.
He was a king of he was a big king of nothing moves for like your big league clubs, like deadline deals that brought you back like You know, it was like, oh, why was that deal even made? Like, what are you trying to sell us on?
Lateral moves, yeah.
He drafted well. He drafted really well.
J.P. Crawford singles in the top of the 10th. Lehigh Valley now leads Rochester 10-8. Jorge Alfaro grounds out top of the 11th. I'm sorry, it's Crawford singles top of the 11th. Lehigh Valley leads 10-8. Jorge Alfaro top of the 11th, ground out. Lehigh Valley leads 11-8. Why are we talking about Lehigh Valley? Because the Phillies
I don't want to talk about Lehigh Valley.
absolutely suck.
Yeah.
Like, I can't talk about a team that's losing 9-2 right now.
Mike, I can't talk about a team that wants to continue to pitch to the best one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. A guy who's just so on fire, it's not even appropriate how on fire he is. It's ridiculous. And the fact that you don't make him move his feet. At any point, you're not going to say, hey, guess what? Cole Hamels answer the bell every time. I'm going to plunk him the first time I see him and make him uncomfortable. You don't got to throw at a guy's head. But plunk a guy, make him move his feet a little bit, or at least pitch goddamn inside. Don't want to get his arms extended. It's a joke. And for Bob McClure, right, like I said in that video, should fire himself. The fact that you're going to throw Rupp or even the pitcher, anybody under the bus, we see you, Bobby. We see you in there. You call pitches, okay? The fastball, when you're giving your signs, it shouldn't even be touched. Right? It shouldn't even be touched unless I'm throwing inside on the hands.
Look, here,
or I'm punking your ass.
There's two things that should have happened in that
joke.
spot. And the two things that should have happened were either Bob McClure going out to the mound and talking to the pitcher himself, or Pete McCannon going,
you hear this one? Yeah.
The run is meaningless.
I know Zimmerman's hitting. I know Rendon and other guys are hitting in that lineup, and they're all hitting. I'll let another one beat me. Like, you know, you looking at Sacramento, when you're looking at the Spurs Warriors first game when Kawhi was playing, and towards the end of that game, you know, you're saying to yourself, if you're Sacramento, anybody else but Durant and Curry.
Golden State. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I'm all over. But we're jumping sports. But no, when you're San Antonio, you're saying to yourself, anybody but Curry and Durant beat me. And it's the same thing goes here. But, yeah, dude, it's a joke. We still shouldn't be talking about these kids. We should be seeing them. Alfaro, Cousins, Williams, Quinn, Hoskins. You know, I don't even care anymore that he's not, you know, he's not raking or he's doing bad in AAA. J.P. Crawford. Enough's enough.
He's actually stepped up his game quite a bit over the last week.
Oh, guys get off the slow starts too.
Well, we talked about that last week. Like,
what's the freaking point of hitting 338? You won't get caught up anyway.
I mean, was it disappointing? Yeah, but it's it's a slow start. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to something we said last week. You know, obviously, you're away next week, and happy anniversary to you and Lena. So you're away,
brother.
no show next week. The next time we see you should be on or around June 1st. That's a day. That is a landmark day on the Major League calendar. And frankly, if the Phillies continue the free fall that they're on right now for the rest of the month, come June 1st, I better be seeing multiple kids.
And listen, Michael Saunders, Howie Kendricks, they got to be moved for anything. You move for anything because you're just looking for space.
Yeah.
You're just looking for space. You just move forever. Player be named later. Players to be named later. Players to be named later.
Get them out.
And some more players to be named later. And like Mike said, let's go.
Yeah, I don't care if this team loses 110 games. They go 52 and 110 if it's all kids play.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
I can swallow that.
Well, real quick to your real quick to your guys' point when you're making comparisons to the Cubs and them pulling up the kids. What were they doing this year? They were sort of mediocre. 500 ball, right? They bring up a kid, Ian Happ. They got criticized. Oh, a little too early. All he's done is hit 2 homers already.
That's it.
Yeah. So you want guys to succeed and fail and learn from that success in the bigs, especially when you're in the Phillies' position. I don't know what they're waiting for either.
Yeah, when you talk about top 10 prospects, that's it.
I mean, you go around and maybe this is a little bit of an old school way of looking at it, but you pick up a newspaper, right? And you flip it open and you look at Major League Baseball box scores every day. There are teams all around Major League Baseball that have guys in their lineups that you've never heard of before. And the reason that you've never heard of them is because they're prospects. They're not all over SportsCenter. They're not all over MLB Network. Well, they might be all over MLB Network, but they're not all over SportsCenter. They're not all over Fox Sports 1. They're not all over the local news, but they can play. And what happens is you start seeing them in the box scores, and then all of a sudden, a week or two later, it starts to build. And now all of a sudden you know who a Ben Gamel is. You know who a Mitch Haniger is. You know who, last year a Jake Lamb is. So, guys like that. And it just, the Cubs, Jorge Baez, Schwarber, whatever. I mean, however you want to look at it, it's got to build somewhere. And I really feel like the Phillies, for whatever reason, it's that old school mentality that I thought left this organization in the mid 90s, but apparently not. That they just are so conservative with their kids. It's frustrating.
Yeah, we talk about it ad nauseum at this point,
Yeah.
and
How long have we been talking about it? That's the scary thing.
I've been talking about it for probably 3 years now.
2 years for me. I mean, that's on air.
Yeah.
Off air. I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
See, but you know what the problem is? We're the only ones that'll talk about it. Because if you look at the dial and you look at other fraud shows in this city, everybody just wants to talk about, why is this guy hitting so bad, or why is this guy throwing the ball well, and this guy needs to be in this position and this guy needs to have that role. Mm-hmm. That's what they want you to talk about. They want you to become so focused on what they have on the field right now, good or bad, that
you forget.
That you're forgetting about. You're looking at the product and you're forgetting about the process, if we could borrow that term from the Sixers.
I mean, I had a freaking genius try and tell me in my ear when listening on the way home that, the city of Philadelphia, they've completely lost all care about the Phillies and the Flyers and the Sixers. They only care about the Eagles. I had a genius saying that on the dial the other night.
Well, it
freaking blew my mind.
Depends on what station you're listening to.
Yeah, it depends on agendas.
One of the stations will go heavy Eagles and Phillies, and the other station will go heavy Sixers and Flyers.
Yeah, because that's who they're rated. That's who their contracts to do the games are through.
Agendas aside, it's based off of freaking common sense. Like, how many times have we heard? Like, we just spent a half hour just talking about the fact that we need the kids up. Not once, we need the kids up.
Nobody talks about
caring.
it.
That's kind of caring.
Or any fan that talks about it talks scared. Like, it's not time yet.
Cautious.
Cautious.
Baby steps.
Go throw yourself in front of a moving car. That's how I look at that. You know what I mean? Because
I got two of them on my show every week.
Yeah, I mean, just go throw yourself in front of a car because there's no wait anymore. Good teams don't wait. Robbie, you got something? Did you have something? Oh, my bad.
So real quick, that Lehigh Valley game is a final now. They win 11-8. I want to say it's like their 11th or 12th win in a row. They're now 26-13, like totally blowing International League out of the water. So winning pitcher, Pat Venditte. Now 3-0, and today is May 17th? Has yet to give up an earned run this year. He's got a 0 ERA. Phillies bullpen absolutely fucking sucks. They trade for this guy in spring training. He throws with both fucking hands. And he hasn't given up an earned run on May 17th. And tell me again why he's not on the Major League roster?
His slider, left-handed, is nasty. Almost unhittable.
And I understand that the guy's gotten hit around at the Major League level before, but that wasn't this year. Guy's not giving up an earned run, and it's May 18th. Bring him up.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Like, come on, guys. Get a clue.
It's time to go. Eagles.
Yeah, do a little Eagles real quick. I wanted to get your thoughts on this whole Brandon Graham situation because apparently he was home visiting his family in Michigan, and he came back from Michigan, and then all of a sudden, like, everything was right in his world. And he shows up at the NovaCare Complex. He's tweeting selfies of himself at the NovaCare Complex, which to me actually says volumes, and not in a good way. But I mean, did he get punked?
I think he did. I think like we talked about last week when you drafted DN in the first round that high, it makes everybody, all the DNs nervous, and guys are going to want money if they're not guaranteed money. They're going to want to get that in their pocket as quick as possible, and I think that was their initial stance. And they realized that, guess what? We're not going to have a leg to stand on here. Let's play good cop, and let's come in and play by the rules, and we'll work on getting that deal done. I think that's how it went. I think that initially they thought they were going to hold out and realized that, guess what? We're not going to have a leg to stand on because they don't have any money right now. So we got to let this play out, and hopefully we can get something done, through maybe the season, and because it doesn't end. You can get done through the season, so you have time. And I think that's how they looked at it.
But did he ever say he was ever holding out? Did he physically ever say it?
No, he did not. But it was reported through his agent that he would not be attending
Yeah.
the off season, even the mandatories. Like he wasn't showing up until training camp.
Yep.
So
And that's what Jeff McLean tweeted out. And, like Mike said, I think they got punked in a way because they don't have the money right now. And
if I'm Brandon Graham, I got to have some serious concerns with the agent right now. Because if that was 100% the agent's idea, the agent's doing, hey, I want to float this out there that you're not going to show up until July and see how it goes. And you just signed a big old extension 2 years ago. You may be a top 100 player in the NFL, but you're still not top 5 and maybe not even top 10 at your position.
You got to wait. He's got to produce again.
You need to take a step back and you need to tell the agent, whoa, let's slow your roll.
Go show it on the football field.
Yeah.
Like competition, that should breed more, better players, better play out of players. So, you got money hanging over your head too? Go be a dog out there. Go show it. You want to get paid? Show it again. I don't think it was him. No, I really think that was his agent, trying just to see where they stood. You know what I mean? Where do we stand? Can we get something done now? Or, do we think we're really not going to have a leg to stand on and we just got to say, okay, we're going to go in.
Well, and if the agent did back off and he backed off because of social media backlash, then he's just a problem.
Yeah, call him.
Because if you're going to have big enough balls to put it out there, you need to have big enough balls to stand by it.
Yeah, Pop said even if he did get punked, we don't need that distraction going into training camp. It has to be a breakout year, and I can see it happening next season. Now, LeGarrette Blount, quickly. It's an okay signing. It's a good signing. I've always liked LeGarrette Blount, but what drives me insane and what gets me really brewing is that people like crown these kind of moves and crown how he moves and how his track record has always been really great off seasons, and the product on the field never translates. Okay, great off season judged by us and everybody out there, right? Great off seasons that never seem to match on the football field. This is a guy who's been as a GM title has been to 2 playoff games and lost both. Realistically, he's only been the GM for 1 playoff team because he was not the GM when Andy was here. I don't care what Wikipedia says. I don't give a shit because I know what I know. All right. That being said, he's only been to 1 playoff game in 6 years. That what do you trust?
Well,
what makes you the LeGarrette Blount's fine, but then when people go broad straight out.
Well, but here's the problem.
Oh my God, yeah, 299 carries. That's a lot for a running back, especially an old one.
I agree with you, but just take the focus off of Howie for a second, and you just look at the player. The uproar comes from, like you said, 299 carries last year. Oh my God, he could be a feature back.
Yeah.
Oh, he played for the New England Patriots. Tom Brady trusted him. Well, come on. Tom Brady could trust any running back because he's only going to get it 15 times a game, but whatever. Oh, he won a Super Bowl. Well, yeah, because he was on the Patriots. I mean, if anybody out there thinks that this is anything more than a depth move, 10 to 12 carries a game, short yardage, what I personally think is he's going to be their short yardage back who's going to get just enough carries within the game flow so that people don't key on him in short yardage.
With that being said, I want to pick your brain here real quick because we asked the question earlier, does the LeGarrette Blount signing change your outlook of the Eagles season? And you had said that, in your opinion, it goes from 9-7 to 10-6.
Yeah, I give him 1 game.
If you look at it as just a depth move, how do you see it just automatically adding them an additional 1 win?
Because I look back last year at 3 games. At Detroit, at Dallas, at Baltimore. 3 games that they lost last year because they couldn't get 1 yard or they couldn't get 2 yards. So I boil it down to the game level and say that game Sunday night in Dallas, the play where Sproles lost 5 and they needed 2 for a first down. They get a first down, they win the game. The Detroit game where it's 3rd and 3, I believe, Ryan Matthews goes around the corner and fumbles, and they wind up losing that game where I feel like Blount just goes straight ahead, gets 3 yards and a first down.
And to that point, though, but the only thing to that point is when I look at 299 carries, second most in football to Zeke,
right,
and I look at a guy that's going to be 31 in December, Do I think he can still get that done? Yeah, but it also got to worry me that he only averaged 3.9 yards a carry in New England's offense. Granted, 18 touchdowns. My concern is if he loses that one other step that he has, all right, and now he can't convert them short-yarded situations because he's not the guy he was, and he's worn out this year. Okay, we've seen DeMarco 2 years ago here, right, not have that burst because of the workload he got in Dallas the year before. Now, after he got shut down a little bit at the end of that year, played that last game a little bit more, but stopped getting touches, he bounced back last year in Tennessee and had a good year. Okay, I think LeGarrette can definitely help this team. But I said it when the schedule came out, and I'm not going to waver by this shit. I didn't even look at it. I said, better be 11-5. That's just how I felt. Like, right. The time of, I don't care about a young quarterback or any of that other stuff. You have to start going to playoff games. Okay? Mm-hmm. The time for Howie Roseman to get benefit of the doubts are out the window now. Do I think LeGarrette Blount makes you a better football team? Yeah, it's better, but that's not the issue I had. The issue I had was with people overly excited about the deal. That's just a good move. It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy.
It's another whole move. It goes along with the movement of building around a young quarterback, a quarterback that you actually believe in.
Well, and here's the thing, though. If anyone says that the Eagles are still in rebuild, you're kind of fooling yourselves because if you look at it, they're actually trying to build to win now.
Yeah,
of course they are.
Disguised as a rebuild. But they're trying to win now.
Oh, tons of Band-Aids separate all over.
Well, but here's the thing, and you and I kind of talked about this a little bit on the book, is I think some of these one-year deals are 1 year because they just can't afford more with their cap right now. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Alshon will be back. I feel like there's a chance that if Blount is healthy and performs to what they want him to do, he may be back after the 1 year. Now, for how long, I don't know. Bottom line, the guy is a 30-year-old running back who had 300 carries last year. New England offensive line isn't built for run blocking. They're just not. I mean, you look at what they did with Dion Lewis and all of their other running backs, they're all pass-catching backs. Mm-hmm. I mean, LeGarrette Blount's the only one who gets touches out of the backfield there in terms of carries. They're just not built for run blocking. That said, your point's still valid. It's 300 carries. 299 is 300 carries. It's a lot of touches. So the Eagles have to know what they're getting. And Belichick, I mean, obviously the genius that he is, I don't feel like they gave up on him because of his ability so much as they won the Super Bowl and they knew that he was going to be looking for so much more money. I think they also knew that he wasn't going to get that on the open market. So they tender him so that if another team signs him, they're going to get the compensatory pick, which, good for them.
Yeah. But it just shows you the genius in Bell.
Right. I mean, you almost have to wonder, and I hate to put it this way, but did Howie almost outsmart himself with this instead of wait until June 1st when Blount either had to re-sign July 1st, when he either had to re-sign with the Patriots or if he went elsewhere, the compensatory pick is gone.
Yeah, maybe he thought he was going to go back, And
it's a real the Eagles sign him. I mean, it's $2.8 million. It's a real team-friendly deal. So it's not like the Eagles overspent on the guy.
I don't care about money. I care about production. So
it just becomes a matter of, which LeGarrette Blount do we get? How does he fit in? And what happens at the end of the year? Yeah,
and at the end of the year, not because of LeGarrette Blount, because of your quarterback and because of how long your GM's had at tenure here, it needs to be a playoff appearance. A playoff appearance or bust. All right, I'm done with it. Again, I'm done with waiting. I think we all should be done with waiting. And Howie Roseman needs to be held accountable for good or bad. And again, he's won another offseason. And you get a round of applause from me. But okay, and you can say coaching and this, that, and the third, but guess who assembles the coach here? The general manager. Okay? Guess who put the coach in position?
Was that a round of applause? Because I thought you were starting to slow clap. I'm like, how? Howie.
No, not gonna happen. Yeah, Bob Hartman on the way out, speaking of Pat's, about Giselle talking about Tom having multiple concussions that were basically ignored and covered up. Crazy.
Well, that'll be a topic going forward.
Yeah, well, and he said incentive-based Band-Aids for a lot of these. Yeah, I mean, they are trying to win right now. to a point, like you said. So you better.
The only reason that I have a problem with the term Band-Aid is we've seen Band-Aids in the past where you sign guys that suck to 1-year deals.
Like Patrick Robinson.
I would even go back further than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying currently.
But, yeah.
That's a Band-Aid in the corner.
But when you're signing guys who have had success and are good players to 1-year deals because of your cap, to me, that's not a Band-Aid. That's a cap restriction.
Yeah, I mean.
And we'll see what happens.
Band-Aid's being used. It's being overused.
Well, I mean, blunt you could use as like almost a Band-Aid because it's a 1-year deal. You weren't going to give him 2 or 3 years. You just weren't going to do that. That's a 1-year deal, like Patrick Robinson 1-year deal. So.
Did we miss it again, Ravi?
No, you know. It don't matter. Just
don't
shut it
matter.
down as soon as we finish. We'll finish now. But thank you, everybody, for listening. We got to thank all our sponsors real quick. Gibson Mayer, LLC. Our Wednesday night sponsor. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Soap Stash, LLC. SoapStash.com. ScanzanoSports.com.
BMW Atlantic City.
StreamSmartVinny.com. Get your Stream Smart. All MLB, NHL, NBA. What am I missing? NFL? Did I say NFL? I don't know.
Said it
It was
now.
Austin. Now
Said
I
it
did.
now.
You can catch that.
Last show before vacation.
Last show before
We missed the
vacation.
mark 3 times.
Yeah, I got to coach all weekend, but that's like a vacation. That's a great time.
Happy anniversary, brother.
Thanks, brother. Pleasure, boys. Been
Indeed.
real. For Tom Renault, Michael Mataraki, Ryan Broder, Rob Hogan on the 1s and 2s. Thank you for listening to Tom.
Mike,
AM.
in the PM.
HDRadio.com. We out.
See you in June.